Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and a couple months ago, I had on a young advocate named Brilli Samanova. She lives in Washington, in Maryland, and she is just a force. And ever since I had Brilli on, we've stayed in contact because I just love what she's doing. And she's a great person to connect people and the dots together. And she connected me with Christine Bernat, who I will introduce here in just a minute. Who is a life coach and also the creator of Snap, Tap, and Zap. And we'll get into that here in just a minute. But think about all the different levels of stress that you might have, right? You have stress emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and it all affects all of our nervous system and all of our organs and things like that. So how do we manage all of this together? With me today, please welcome to the show, Christine Bernat. Hi, Christine. How you doing?
I'm awesome, Gina. It's an honor to be here with you. How are you today?
I'm so good. I've been so busy here as of late. I've been traveling and now finally back at home. And it's so great to have you on the show, Christine. Now, I know that you were a special education teacher for many years. What made you kind of switch careers?
Actually, I was a mostly elementary school teacher, but I've done so many IEPs. Some years I had up to 11 individual education plan for my students that had special needs. So I have worked with special needs students for 30 years. Woo!
And what made you switch careers to become a life coach?
What an excellent question. I crashed and burned way down in 2017. By 2018, I was non-functional practically on all levels, weighing 90 pounds, collecting the diagnoses. So I needed to heal myself. And what the medical environment that was supporting me was finding for solutions wasn't working. So I needed to think outside the box. And this is what I want to bring to all these beautiful parents that are listening. Learn to think outside the box. If you're offered a solution, it doesn't work, find those that work. So those that work best for me were Mark Romero's music. It would calm me down and realign me to who I am slowly, mini baby step at a time. But in 2019, when I took the training to become a certified EFT master practitioner, that made me, start walking again, start having normal conversations again.
What does EFT stand for those who don't know?
Oh, what a beautiful question. I forget to explain that. Emotional freedom techniques.
Oh.
So emotional freedom techniques, basically the bottom line is to be able to recognize when your brain goes into survival mode. And when it's in survival mode, like a child doesn't want to do what you want right now and you need to get that done to get to work on time, well, your brain can go into survival mode, especially if you're not just, oh, come on, honey, we really need to hurry up and get in the car. How many parents are able to say it in that tone? Wasn't me, right? So if I go into, come on, let's go, I'm in survival mode. It's taking over my knowledge to stay calm and quiet with the children. So by tapping on meridian points, you calm back down that survival mode. And then you're able to stay.
How young are your youngest clients that come to you?
The youngest I had was 1.5 years.
Wow.
I know. It was so beautiful. And with this client, I hadn't created my new technique of Snap, Tap, Zap yet. But I had done the whole EFT protocol with him and his mom, and then again with his mom. And I saw him at 3.5 years old, and Mom said, he still asks me to do it.
So this is a technique. This is a particular technique that works. Would you say this works with higher functioning, with more profound, with kids in general?
It works with children, teens, adults. I've had clients up to 86 who couldn't sleep and were on sleep medication. And even in a coarse environment,
For sure.
Calm the fear mode, because what keeps you awake is the hamster. So if you can calm that hamster down. But she started sleeping again, normally and peacefully, just using snap, tap, zap. But I also have training as a Telera, what is it called? Energy Mastery Systems. So that was a huge 2-year major course that I took, and combined with the EFT, that's where my healing, really in-depth healing, and where I began to thrive in life again. But I use the technique to tap on meridian points every single day, even though I have no more kids at home, even though I'm not in the classroom. Why? Because little things trigger us. And when we're really patient with ourselves and conscious, like, oh, what was that just triggered me? Why did I all of a sudden, get angry about something I read? What was it in that triggered me? Or how did that person react that triggered me? Or, in the environment, if you don't like to be in crowds, you can be triggered, right?
Sensory issues are a big thing with our kids on the spectrum. So, and in fact, you just said that you came up with a couple of different things for families on the spectrum. Care to share?
Yes, I created a practical 5-step blueprint for parents with autistic children so that they can focus on ways to enhance the connection, to regulation, self-regulation, and support. So the first item that I have on there is observe and recognize the cues. Because, sometimes life happens and we're like, oh my gosh, and we're in this rat race. And to stop and pause and just notice, how does my child react to this? How does my child react to that? Does this work for my child? Does this work for me? Is it a win-win for each person? Because we need to find those win-win solutions.
And what's number 2?
Number 2 is practice self-regulation with snap, tap, zap. Of course.
Because there's snap, tap, zap, but there's also snap, set, go. And we want to get to that too. What's number 3?
Number 3 is to set up a sensory-friendly environment.
For sure.
If you have a child that's always in the bedroom as they get older and you want them to be part of the family, can you organize an area of the living room where they feel they've got their noise cancellation earphones, or there's a box, you bought something big and you've got a box, you decorate it together and they can sit in there for a few minutes or a few hours, but they're in the room, they're seeing, they're picking up on what's happening around them.
And then number 4 and 5?
4 is to build consistent routines.
Okay.
Some of us need those, and it's important. Does your child need these consistent routines to begin with, right? You can have a chart.
We need them as adults.
Yes, to get some things done. I work partially with routines and partially non. I have like a feeling when there's too much routine. I need space to just get up and say, what do I feel like doing? Oh, I want to get my snap, tap, zap going. And, my snap, set, go. So I work on that. And then the next one, number 5, is to seek out resources and support that work for you and for your child. Because if you keep going with something that doesn't work, for 2 years, I worked with different doctors. I won't say why different doctors, because here our Quebec system is, anyway, I had to go to the emergency room to see a doctor. So,
oh no.
So that's how I didn't have a doctor, because I was on the waiting list for 7 or 8 years.
With me today is Christine Bernat, and she's a life coach and the creator of Snap, Set, Go. When we get back, we're going to find out what is it and where you can find it and benefit from it. Stay with me. Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, the lovely Christine Bernat. You are a life coach and creator of Snap, Set, Go, and we'll get to the Snap, Zap, Set, or Go. Yeah. There's so many of them. Tell me a little bit about Snap, Set, Go.
So snap, sit, go is becoming snap, tap, zap so that what the parent learns, it goes in cohesion with what the child is learning.
Got it.
So there's not that distinction. So I had, and that's what I'm working on right now. I've got levels 1 to 4 done. I just have 5, 6, 7 left to do, and fixing the recording and the documentation that I have to go with it so that it's snap. And if people want to do it with us, because it makes more sense, the wording. Yeah.
I'll
So
do
we
it.
snap our
Snap.
fingers. If you can't snap, clap.
Okay.
You know, breathe in for 3. Relax your shoulders and your spine for 2. And exhale. So that's the very basic of it. So now we're going to add the tap. So snap. Breathe in as you scan your body to see where your tension is. Relax the shoulders. Tap on your sternum where your thymus gland is in the fall and winter to boost your immune system. So really like on the sternum, not way
Well,
out here,
I have
but
a
way out here.
microphone on. I don't want
Oh, I have a mic. Stay out here. We can go on the
We'll go
collarbone
that way.
today.
Okay.
Yes, that'll be perfect, Gina, because we don't want to be tapping on the mic. And then, of course, you've been holding only for 2 seconds your breath and you're ready to exhale. And notice the difference just that little tapping will bring to the whole nervous system.
Now, Christine, do you have these for different ages?
Yes, I now have completely ready the Snap Tap Zap for kids, and it's in 1 to 2 minute video animations.
Oh,
So at night, before your child goes to bed, so they can release the guck, when they come home from school, or in the day, you're like when they're the best time to start it for the first time is when they are calm, so they can try it, or when they're just a little bit on edge, not at a 10 right away, but if they're at a 10, what you need to do is you need to snap,
snap,
tap,
tap.
relax, and zap.
How can people find Snap, Tap, Zap?
They can go to Christine Bernat, BERNAT.com, and they will find some information there, or they can email me at christinebernat.com, and I will be happy to give them more information. And if they say they heard of me through Gina here on your show, I have the practical guide ready for them, and I also have a whole tracking system that's linked in this guide that they can go and figure out. It's a science, it's a snapshot of your emotions for kids and for teens and adults.
I think this is coming into play when kids are when they have homework and they start to get stressed out and check out, they can use the Snap, Tap, Zap and really like kind of get it together again. Release all the anxiety and go back to work.
I love how you said that because I'm almost done preparing Snap, Tap, Zap for how to overcome your homework stress for teens.
It's true. I know. I have a 7th grader, and he can get stressed out. The amount of homework is a lot at this age. And so to know that he can kind of self-regulate after doing some of these techniques and going through the program. Christine, also, where can people find you? The same website for your life coaching?
Yes. They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. There's so many links. I can't get them all, but they're all great places to reach out and listen to. And I will be focusing more on really the self-regulation part and managing the stress, because parents have stress to manage, kids have stress to manage. And can you imagine the power you are giving your child by helping them manage stress at a young age, at a year old, at a 2-year-old? If they're going to a daycare, they need to learn to manage stress.
Snap, tap,
and zap.
And go. I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Christine.
It was a delight, Gina.
In the world that we live in today, everyone is stressed, right? Our kids are stressed, our pets are stressed, we're stressed, and we need to have a reset. And if it takes 5 minutes, if it takes 20 seconds, we can all snap, tap, and zap. And I really liked this whole concept. It used to be called snap, set, and go. And now Christine is revising it and becoming more aware that other people are aware and they all want to manage their stress too. And it starts very young. Like she said, if a child can manage their stress at 1.5, 2 years old, when they go into, a daycare or they go over to grandma and grandpa's house and mom and dad are not around, imagine what that looks like and how much more well-grounded that child will be. On the spectrum, with a different disability, it doesn't matter. We can all snap, tap, and zap, right? So feel free to reach out to Christine through her channels, and we'll list them here below for you. And again, thank you to Brilli Samanova for turning me on to Christine. She is also a force to be reckoned with. So I appreciate that very much. I appreciate when we're all living in the same world. We're all doing it for the same reason. And it's important that we're all running in the same circle. So it's only a matter of time before we truly meet one another. So if there's somebody that's running in your circle that we haven't met yet, I want to meet them and possibly book them for a future episode of Life with the Spectrum. You can reach out to me at gcast.com. That's GKASTS.com, or shoot me an email to gina@gcast.com. Until next time, we live life with the spectrum. See ya. Bye.